in the year 1948, when the country got into troubles. Our Dr. Mehta, Behram Mehta, he wanted the students to be more brave, to be working in the actual social work situations. So he made all arrangements to go to Delhi.
The partition of India was TISS's first intervention at the time of a national disaster. The institute, at the request of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, sent a team of 10 girls and 10 boys to work in Delhi and Kurukshetra for over 3 months.
That time, I was placed in a family camp. And what tragedies we saw. We couldn't believe it. We were crying, but even then we had to work hard and we had to slowly comfort them, but that comfort was not adequate for them. Our work was extremely appreciated, not only by the trustees, but by the government of India. And one good thing, that this was considered as our fieldwork experience, the best. And we still feel that yes, we gained a lot about the humanity, problems, and rehabilitation of the deserted and separated families.
During the inauguration of TISS's Deonar campus in 1954, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru emphasized the need for trained social workers and marked them as different from the merely enthusiastic ones.
If we take a broader look at the role of higher education, university systems are expected to disseminate specialized knowledge and skills in various fields. This has been able to demonstrate the role that educational institutions play in providing value education and critical thinking through involvement in disasters.
For the last 7 decades, TISS has been a part of more than 25 local and national level disaster relief works.
One day you were comfortable in your own life, or maybe struggling through life, but you had dignity in terms of your own assets. The next day a disaster converts you into literal beggars, where people would gather clothes in all kinds of states and would throw them away from trucks. There is no dignity in that giving, there is no dignity in that helping, and there is no dignity in that receiving either.
TISS's intervention in disasters has evolved from immediate relief and response to developing a long-term strategy for effective rehabilitation. Its core areas of expertise include relief management, impact and needs assessment, psychosocial support, volunteer and resource mobilization, training and capacity building, research and documentation, policy advocacy, and peace initiatives for communal amity.
What this was trying to do is to document all people who were originally there and create an identity for them so that their climb to resettlement and rehabilitation would become possible. Normally, a Panchanama done by the government would tend to leave out people because people don't come to locations. You need to reach out to them. But while documenting conditions, you are also able to inform the relief providers as to what is needed in that particular location.
Keeping in mind that rehabilitation cannot be achieved with a top-down approach, TISS believes in involving the affected community and all its stakeholders in the process of reconstruction. Community participation aims at informed decision-making, building capacities of beneficiaries, equitable distribution of resources, focusing on the vulnerable and marginalized people within a community, and empowering them to take decisions which impact their lives.
Having seen our work, the government of Maharashtra decided that we could be involved as community participation consultants in the 52 villages that were to be relocated. Train them on what is likely to unfold, how would they deal with conflicts, what are the issues that are likely to come up at the village level. We employed community workers who were trained. We had senior level faculty members also involved in this whole process, where if there were conflicts, they had to be addressed. If there were issues, caste conflicts, these had to be addressed in a process where you convened Gram Sabha meetings, village level meetings, and worked through resolution. So these were hugely challenging experiences for TISS. So you see there's a shift from working on relief to working on long-term rehabilitation.
Pioneering in the field of psychosocial care, TISS has been engaging itself with issues of mental health and well-being, making it a crucial part of the rehabilitation process.
We say in the field of psychosocial health that everybody is affected by a disaster. Some people show the symptoms, so you have symptomatic response to them, but there are others who are also affected but who are not helped when they need it. We've also come to recognize that disasters do not affect people only during and immediately after, but that the impact of the disaster can last for maybe a lifetime. And at times you see the impact of the disaster only after a year or 2 years, but most agencies would have packed up their bags and left, so also professionals, so help when it is needed is not available.
Very often I have seen that doctors rush to the area, including psychiatrists, and somebody who says I'm not able to sleep, prescribe them medication. And we have seen in Bhopal disaster that people remain on that medication for the rest of their lives. Do not medicalize a problem. Let people learn how to cope with it rather than falling back on a tablet. Kidlari was full of illegal liquor on the 7th day after the earthquake. People came saying, "Ye thoda pee lo, gum bhul jaoge." And we had a tough time trying to get those people out of all these places. So psychosocial intervention means bringing all these things under one umbrella, trying to see that their psychological needs are met, also trying to see that their physical needs are also met, and follow them up over a period of time. Referral is a very important aspect because you are not going to be there. So finding somebody from the family, finding somebody from the community who can give them that kind of psychological support was very necessary.
Psychosocial health was an unknown area actually. In fact, in 1995 we started that work with Latur. By 97 we joined hands with NIMHANS and developed a series of training material. And by 2000 it has been mainstreamed actually. Now you don't need to tell the government that psychosocial aspects are important, but it becomes integral part of the intervention actually. In this country, we do not have material, that would or resources that informs people on new ideas and experiences and practices. So the India Disasters Report was created to document a new knowledge that have been developed as a consequence of policy programs and implementation of these ideas, and to make it available for wider use actually.
TISS's latest and longest intervention has been the post-tsunami engagement, which began in 2004 and carries on to the present day. The tsunami of 26 December 2004 has been described as one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. Statistics reveal a total of 3,513 people dead or missing in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. TISS's intervention included identifying and plugging the gaps in relief, enumeration along with photo documentation, initiating children's activities in schools and training local volunteers in capacity building, profiling the communities for development interventions, planning rehabilitation on new sites selected by tribals, and assessing eco-friendly possibilities for rehabilitation and restoration work. TISS also offers a certificate or diploma program on sustainable development for the people of the islands.
After the tsunami and after the Gujarat earthquake, there's been a lot of momentum, there's been a lot of understanding and appreciation of the need to work in a more systematic manner, both at the policy level as well as at the field level in disaster management. In 2006, the centre was inaugurated by the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, underlining the significance of the centre to the country. The vision was really to look at a full-fledged master's program in disaster management. Issues of social justice, issues of environmental justice are core to what we do here. Guiding the sector or looking at disaster management critically is something that we would like to work towards.
At the outset, I should say, I've been really impressed with the fact that the one here at the Tata Institute is very broad-based, which I think is crucial. Even the fact that it's the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, I think reflects the fundamental underpinning of, what we're talking about here is people and the exposure to people and how they live and what their livelihoods are and how those are exposed to not only disaster consequences, we look at disaster events, but also risks. And risks are dynamic. We're always going to have risks, but risks are changing. And I think that's one of the important elements that is characterized here in the program.
Like all academic institutions, the strength of TISS lies with its students. Many of our alumni feel that disaster relief and rehabilitation work has been amongst the most memorable experiences of their lives.
Our work was good because we, as students, we had just entered and we had read about and were introduced to concepts of vulnerability, how societies and communities face risk, and in what ways do you try to help them to cope about it on their own. Initially, because it's a humanitarian crisis, there would be people coming in hordes and distributing everything and trying to be as helpful as possible. But what really needs to be thought through is a long-term strategy to help communities cope up with the problems that they're going to be facing in the coming few years. Never think that you know all the answers. In fact, most of the times the answers never lie with you. Even as a disaster manager, even as a person who's probably educated, we all tend to get that slight high-handedness about us, and the answer doesn't lie with us. It always lies with communities, and it is so contextual that every time you go and approach something, one has to remember the context that you're involved in and where you go.